a low-cost Ukrainian drone reportedly struck a Russian S-400 air defense system, one of the most advanced and heavily protected systems on the battlefield. This wasn't just another military target. The S-400 represents layered air defense at its highest level. It's designed to create a no-fly zone, an area where any incoming threat, whether it's a fighter jet, cruise missile, or drone, should be detected, tracked, and destroyed long before it gets close. With a range stretching hundreds of kilometers and the ability to track multiple targets at once, this system is supposed to act as an impenetrable shield. But that's not what happened. There was no large-scale missile barrage, no incoming fighter formation. What approached the system was something much smaller, almost invisible. And that's exactly what made it so dangerous. This strike immediately raised serious questions across military analysts worldwide. Because if a system like the S-400 can be hit by a low-cost drone, then the entire concept of high-end, untouchable air defense starts to fall apart. To understand the scale of this moment, you have to understand what the S-400 actually is. This isn't just a missile launcher. It's a fully integrated defense network, long-range surveillance radar, target tracking radar, command and control units, and multiple missile launch platforms working together as one system. Each component plays a critical role. The primary radar scans vast distances, identifying potential threats long before they enter engagement range. Once a target is detected, the system classifies it, aircraft, missile, or otherwise, and assigns the most effective interception method. In theory, this creates multiple defensive layers. Long-range threats are neutralized early. Anything that slips through faces another layer, and then another, until nothing gets through. But theory only works under ideal conditions. On a dynamic battlefield, even the most advanced systems have blind spots. The drone used in this strike wasn't a high-end piece of cutting-edge military hardware. In fact, its strength came from the opposite. It was simple, affordable, adaptable. Low-cost drones have several advantages that are often underestimated. First, their small size makes them difficult to detect. Second, they can be produced in large numbers, making them ideal for repeated operations. Third, they're highly flexible, easily modified for reconnaissance, targeting, or direct attack missions. In this context, the drone becomes an asymmetric weapon. It doesn't try to match the enemy's technology. It exploits its weaknesses. And once those weaknesses are exposed, even a system worth hundreds of millions becomes vulnerable. What makes this even more significant is accessibility. This kind of capability is no longer limited to major powers. Anyone who understands how to use it effectively can change the battlefield. This strike was almost certainly not random. It was planned. The first step would have been target identification. Locating an S-400 system requires accurate intelligence, whether from surveillance drones, satellite data, or other sources. Once the position is confirmed, the flight path is calculated. Not the fastest route, but the safest. The drone is guided to avoid radar coverage, using terrain, altitude, and timing to stay undetected for as long as possible. As it approaches the target, every second matters. The operator has to make real-time decisions. Continue forward, abort, adjust course. Then comes the final phase. No margin for error. Everything depends on signal stability, navigation accuracy, and timing. And when all those elements align, impact. The failure of a system like the S-400 doesn't mean it isn't advanced. It means even advanced systems have limits. One major factor is radar limitation against small, low-flying objects. These radars are optimized for large, fast-moving threats at distance. Small drones flying close to the ground can blend into background clutter, terrain, buildings, environmental noise. Another factor is prioritization. Air defense systems are often tuned to respond first to high-value threats. A small drone may not trigger immediate engagement until it's too late. There's also the human factor. Operators under pressure, limited reaction time, or incomplete situational awareness can all contribute. In modern warfare, speed matters. And in this case, the drone moved faster than the response. This strike sends a message far beyond the destruction itself. It signals a shift in how war is fought. For years, military power was measured by how advanced and how expensive your systems were. Now, effectiveness doesn't always scale with cost. Low-cost drones can deliver disproportionate impact against high-value targets, and that creates a strategic dilemma. Does it make sense to fire a $1 million missile at a drone that costs a few hundred? And if not, that gap becomes a vulnerability. The psychological impact of this strike is just as important as the physical damage. For the defending side, it introduces uncertainty. If top-tier air defense systems can be penetrated, then nothing feels fully secure. Every small radar contact becomes a potential threat. Every delay in response becomes a risk. This forces a shift in behavior. More alert, more reactive, but also more strained. On the attacking side, success like this builds confidence. It proves the strategy works, and when something works, it gets repeated. The psychological impact of this strike is just as important as the physical damage. For the defending side, it introduces uncertainty. If top-tier air defense systems can be penetrated, then nothing feels fully secure. Every small radar contact becomes a potential threat. Every delay in response becomes a risk. This forces a shift in behavior. More alert, more reactive, but also more strained. On the attacking side, success like this builds confidence. It proves the strategy works, and when something works, it gets repeated. Modern warfare is entering a new phase, the drone warfare era. Drones are no longer just support tools. They are frontline weapons. They're cheap, scalable, and increasingly sophisticated. They can be deployed in swarms, overwhelming even advanced defense systems. And with rapid technological evolution, AI guidance, autonomous navigation, coordinated attacks, their effectiveness will only increase. This changes military thinking entirely. It's no longer about one powerful system. It's about many smaller systems working together. Going forward, air defense systems will need to adapt. Detection must improve against small, low-signature targets. Response times must be faster. And strategies must shift from stopping large-scale attacks to handling constant, low-cost threats. If that adaptation doesn't happen, incidents like this won't be rare. They'll become routine. This strike on the S-400 is more than a single event. It's a signal, a preview of where warfare is heading. Dominance is no longer defined by size or cost. It's defined by innovation and adaptability. One low-cost drone achieved what was once considered unlikely. And on the modern battlefield, that may only be the beginning.